Thank people that have made this a safe haven. People like Rob Baldwin and Sean Atlanti. I'm sure you all know these wonderful people, and the Browns. Extra security was put in place, and everybody that we've met that knew who we were kept an eye on our back and made us feel as safe as they possibly could. To each and every one of you, and to each and every one of those, God bless you. Thank you very much for that. Before we
yeah. For those of you who don't know, we've just published the story of the event, all of the happenings from day 1 through day 9 when the government came in and took the body in the freezer from Jonathan's house. Robert has been wonderfully good in putting together the personality and the character of Gary and Dolly, so you'll have an opportunity to find and meet these people in book form. I encourage you to please come and get a copy of it. There's so much more that you haven't heard that you really would like to. And at the present time, this is Jonathan's only source of income. So thank you for those who have and for those who would like to. After the presentation, we'll have a signing, and they'll both sign it for you. In the meantime, just prior to their questions, there is a statement that I want to read. Recently, during an interview, some pertinent information was assembled by a third and fourth party. This was released before Dr. Reed had an opportunity to review it. Unfortunately, some of this information was incorrect. We would like to clarify this misunderstanding and the statement. However, there have been others who have had similar situations to this where information was released. It's been twisted, it's wrongly used. Jonathan's been slandered and maliciously attacked. And in an attempt to stop this story from being told, there are powers that don't want you to know what's going on. They're trying to disallow you to witness the event through our eyes. We ask you only this, that you decide for yourself after having heard his story, seen the videos, the pictures, and the evidence, and we hope that the UFO community, through your own intelligence, will come to your own conclusions and not accept these poor attempts to assassinate him. Thank you.
I'd like to ask, before the questions begin, if he's in the auditorium here, Dr. Hine, to come forward. There he is. To give some information and incredible data.
We can just wait about 60 seconds. I need to swap stage.
No problem.
Take a deep breath, folks.
60 second pause.
There are pictures in the back of the book. We have photographs of Susie, so you all can get up close and personal with her. The video you're going to see right now. For all of you. Also, I'll let you know, I went to Vancouver and saw Jonathan 2 weeks after the event took place. I saw the what do you call it, little shaft that drains the fluid from the shunt. That's called a shunt, was put in to drain the fluid from the wound because it entered in through the shoulder and exited out through the back part of that shoulder. He was constantly having to change the wound, the bandage.
So now I have a place to put my pen. We went up to the question was, what happened to the obelisk? Obviously, I didn't drag it home. It wouldn't move. But my friend and I went back the next day. My friend was very determined. We took a trailer and chains. But he was thinking in the right direction. When we got there, there was nothing there. But there was nothing out of place. The ferns and the bushes that I pulled out of the way to take those pictures with a stick looked like they'd been replanted. It was pristine.
Are we ready for that video? Thank you. After the video, I'd like to hear from the doctor.
Cut the lights, please.
This is my shoulder, my left shoulder. It entered right above the collarbone and exited through my back in 3 places. I found the shell on the ground. It was a 9mm shell. I do not believe that the gun was meant to fire. I believe that it fired because I grabbed it. The look on the fellow's face was quite startling when it went off. I thought it had missed me. And I laid on the ground, and somebody came running over
Lights, please.
and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." He said, "No, you're not. There's blood all over you." And I didn't even know I had been shot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. All right, doctor, please. Thank you.
Well, I'd just like to personally thank the 3 of you for the courage to come forward with this before I say that. We're all behind
Thank
you,
you.
and
Thank you
very much. In addition to working with Ron Russell on studying crop circles, I teach resonant viewing in Boulder, Colorado. I've worked with some of the viewers that have been here at the conference, and we viewed this event about 1.5 years ago after hearing you on the Art Bell Show. And I gave the target to one of our best, most consistent viewers. The conditions are blind. The viewer has no idea what they're looking at. They get random numbers and no information, 0. They did the session themselves at home. And this particular viewer came up with an interdimensional craft that was on a reconnaissance mission. She drew the obelisk that you showed here today perfectly. And looking over the whole session, since I knew this viewer's record, I determined that this was a real event, or at least the data supported it very strongly, and that the session was very consistent. We've given the target to several other viewers since then, and have also gotten consistent results. So, contrary to what some of you heard on the Art Bell Show, a viewer that appears on there fairly frequently, our data supported your data very strongly. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, doctor.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Reed, I commend you for being here. I've been following your story ever since it appeared on the internet, and I had a question about that. As you had this being either near or in this freezer, you even had a recording of this being actually made a scream as you opened up the freezer lid. It actually screamed. Could you comment on that, please?
I can play that. What happened was the original time when I met this thing in the woods, that is not, repeat not, when this recording was made. This recording was made in my garage on the 3.5 days after I brought this thing home wrapped up, and I had unwrapped it several times, examining it in detail, being as close to it as I am to you, and thinking it was dead, absolutely dead. Touching the wound, seeing the blood, it was a dead piece of meat, and I had thrown it back in the freezer several times. On the 3rd day, I went to the garage to put some things away, and I heard a noise coming from inside the freezer. And I thought it was rats. I thought the compressor was going out. I wasn't sure. But without thinking, I just thought, well, I'll just look inside and check the temperature. Well, I opened the door, and this thing sat up and screamed at me. A deafening scream that made me feel like something was pushing against my chest. Later on, this thing did this over and over, until finally it didn't do it anymore. I don't know if it became accustomed to the weird look of my face or what, but it didn't do it anymore. But one of the times I recorded that sound, and that's the sound I played on Art Bell, and that's the sound I have here, and I will attempt to play it.
You want this one?